Africa, a continent teeming with life, culture, and vast natural wealth. It holds around 30% of the world's known mineral reserves. These resources have the potential to fuel economic growth and lift millions out of poverty. Yet, a stark reality casts a shadow over this potential. Despite this abundance, Africa remains the poorest continent on Earth. This is the paradox of Africa's wealth. How can a continent so rich in resources be home to such widespread poverty? This question has puzzled economists, policymakers, and Africans themselves for decades. The answer is far from simple, tangled in a complex web of historical, political, and economic factors. Unraveling this complexity is crucial to understanding the challenges and opportunities that Africa faces. The narrative of Africa is often painted in broad strokes, highlighting poverty and conflict. While these issues are undeniably present, they do not represent the whole picture. Africa is a continent of immense diversity, from its people and cultures to its landscapes and economies. To understand its poverty, we must recognize its dynamism. Across the continent, vibrant cities with burgeoning tech industries stand in stark contrast to rural communities struggling with basic infrastructure. This disparity is a testament to the uneven development that characterizes much of Africa's growth story. While some regions have benefited from globalization and technological advancements, others have been left behind, trapped in cycles of poverty. To truly grasp the roots of Africa's wealth paradox, we must look beyond the surface, delving into the historical legacies and systemic issues that continue to shape its present. The continent's colonial past has left an indelible mark, shaping its economic structures and political systems. The exploitation of resources during colonialism, coupled with the imposition of extractive institutions, created a legacy of dependence that continues to hinder sustainable development. This legacy is compounded by contemporary challenges, including political instability, corruption, and conflict, which further undermine efforts to translate resource wealth into widespread prosperity. Political instability is a formidable obstacle on Africa's path to prosperity. Frequent coups and conflicts create uncertainty, deterring investment and deepening poverty. This instability often stems from colonial borders that divided communities. The lack of stability hinders long-term development and foreign investment. Businesses are wary of investing in conflict-prone regions. Corruption is a pervasive problem that plagues many African nations, acting as a significant impediment to economic growth and development. It takes many forms, from petty bribery to grand corruption at the highest levels of government. This abuse of power for private gain undermines the rule of law, erodes public trust, and discourages both domestic and foreign investment. When corrupt officials prioritize personal enrichment over the well-being of their citizens, essential services suffer. Funds intended for schools, hospitals, and roads are diverted into private pockets, leaving ordinary people without access to basic necessities. This lack of essential services perpetuates poverty and inequality, trapping communities in a cycle of deprivation. Moreover, corruption creates an uneven playing field for businesses. Companies willing to engage in bribery and other unethical practices gain an unfair advantage over those that operate ethically. This discourages fair competition, stifles innovation, and hinders economic growth. While the challenges facing Africa are real and complex, it is essential to avoid generalizations. The continent is not a monolith, and its experiences are diverse and multifaceted. To truly understand, we must move beyond the headlines and engage with individual nations and communities. Botswana, for instance, has transformed itself from one of the poorest countries to a middle-income nation with a thriving diamond industry. These success stories demonstrate that progress is possible. Africa is a continent of immense potential and resilience. To understand Africa's present, we must grapple with its past. Colonialism's legacy shapes Africa's economic and political landscape. European powers exploited Africa's resources and people. This exploitation went beyond raw materials. Systems benefited colonizers, not the colonized. Ignoring traditional practices, they displaced communities. Cash crops for export over food crops led to food insecurity. Exploitation continued post-independence. While the era of direct colonial rule has ended, a more insidious form of control often persists: neo-colonialism. This refers to the ways in which powerful countries, often former colonial powers, continue to exert economic and political influence over developing nations, shaping their destinies to serve their own interests. This influence can manifest in various ways, including unfair trade agreements, strategic loans with onerous conditions, and support for authoritarian regimes that prioritize resource extraction over the needs of their people. These practices perpetuate economic dependence, undermine democratic institutions, and hinder sustainable development. Moreover, the global financial system, dominated by institutions based in wealthy nations, often disadvantages African countries. High interest rates, strict lending conditions, and a lack of access to capital markets make it difficult for African governments and businesses to secure the financing they need to invest in infrastructure, education, and healthcare. Africa's abundant natural resources, often seen as a blessing, have in many cases become a curse. The resource curse refers to the paradox where resource-rich countries often experience lower economic growth. Reliance on resource extraction can lead to the neglect of other sectors, hindering economic diversification. Resource wealth can fuel corruption, benefiting elites at the expense of the broader population. The broken ladder of opportunity. For millions of Africans, the ladder of opportunity is broken. Limited access to quality education, healthcare, and economic opportunities perpetuates cycles of poverty and inequality, trapping generations in a system that denies them the chance to reach their full potential. Education, often considered the key to breaking the cycle of poverty, is often inaccessible or inadequate in many parts of Africa. Lack of funding, qualified teachers, and essential resources such as textbooks and technology undermines the quality of education, leaving many children ill-equipped to compete in the global economy. Similarly, access to quality healthcare remains a distant dream for many. Shortages of doctors, nurses, and essential medicines, coupled with inadequate infrastructure and high costs, make it challenging for people to receive the care they need, leading to preventable deaths and perpetuating cycles of ill health and poverty. The seeds of hope. Despite these formidable challenges, Africa is not a continent without hope. Amidst the struggles, seeds of progress are being sown, offering glimmers of a brighter future. Across the continent, individuals, communities, and governments are working tirelessly to overcome these obstacles and build a more prosperous and equitable future. One of the most promising trends is the rise of entrepreneurship and innovation. From tech hubs in Nairobi and Lagos to mobile money solutions transforming financial inclusion, Africans are leveraging technology and their own ingenuity to create jobs, solve problems, and drive economic growth. Moreover, there is a growing recognition of the importance of good governance and strong institutions in fostering sustainable development. Across the continent, citizens are demanding greater transparency, accountability, and a more equitable distribution of resources. Beyond aid and extraction. A sustainable solution to Africa's wealth paradox requires a fundamental shift in the relationship between Africa and the rest of the world. Traditional models of aid and resource extraction have often fallen short. The focus should be on fostering genuine partnerships based on mutual respect and shared prosperity. This includes promoting fair trade practices, investing in education and healthcare, and supporting local industries. African nations must chart their own course. Together we can unlock Africa's vast potential. The year is 1994. Rwanda is engulfed in a horrific genocide. Nearly 1 million people are brutally murdered. The world watches in horror. Yet a remarkable story of resilience has emerged. The Rwandan people embarked on a path of forgiveness and progress. Central to Rwanda's recovery is healing and unity. Community-based reconciliation programs have been instrumental. This process has rebuilt trust and shared purpose. While confronting its past, Rwanda has also looked to the future, embracing innovation and technology as engines of economic growth and social progress. The government has implemented ambitious reforms to improve the business environment, attract foreign investment, and foster entrepreneurship. One striking example is Rwanda's emergence as a hub for technological innovation. The government has invested heavily in building a robust ICT infrastructure, including expanding broadband access and establishing a technology park in the capital city of Kigali. These efforts have attracted international tech companies and fostered the growth of a vibrant local startup ecosystem. Rwanda has also made significant strides in promoting gender equality and women's empowerment. With women making up a majority of the population, Rwanda recognized that their full participation was essential for national development. Today, Rwanda boasts the highest proportion of women in parliament globally, a testament to its commitment to inclusive governance. Rwanda's journey is far from over. Challenges remain, including poverty and inequality. Rwanda's story offers a powerful beacon of hope. It holds valuable lessons for other African nations. By prioritizing reconciliation and innovation, Rwanda has charted a brighter future. Its story is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. It reminds us that hope can emerge even in the darkest times. Africa's wealth paradox is a complex issue with no easy solutions. It's a tapestry woven from historical exploitation, political instability, and systemic challenges that continue to hinder the continent's progress. The abundance of natural resources, rather than translating into widespread prosperity, often fuels corruption and exacerbates existing inequalities. Colonialism's legacy casts a long shadow, shaping economic structures, political systems, and power dynamics in ways that often perpetuate dependence and disadvantage. Neo-colonial practices, often disguised as aid or investment, can further undermine African nations' ability to chart their own course and control their own destinies. Yet, amidst these challenges, there are also glimmers of hope. Africa is a continent on the move, with a young and vibrant population eager to embrace innovation, challenge the status quo, and create a better future. From bustling tech hubs to community-led initiatives, there is a palpable sense of energy, creativity, and determination across the continent. Addressing Africa's wealth paradox requires a multifaceted approach, one that acknowledges the historical context, addresses systemic issues, and empowers African nations and their people to take control of their own development. This is not just an African issue, it is a global imperative that demands collective action and a fundamental shift in mindset. The international community must move beyond outdated models of aid and extraction, embracing genuine partnerships based on mutual respect, shared prosperity, and a commitment to sustainable development. This includes promoting fair trade practices, investing in education and healthcare, and supporting the growth of local industries and entrepreneurship. Within Africa, governments must demonstrate leadership in tackling corruption, strengthening institutions, and creating an enabling environment for businesses to thrive. Investing in human capital, particularly education and healthcare, is paramount to unlocking the continent's potential and ensuring that future generations have the tools they need to succeed. The narrative of Africa is changing. It's time to recognize the continent's diversity, dynamism, and immense potential. Africa is a mosaic of cultures, landscapes, and aspirations. The story of Africa's future is being written every day. It is a story of hope, resilience, and a brighter tomorrow. A story that deserves to be heard, supported, and celebrated. Africa's success is a victory for humanity. When Africa thrives, the world thrives. What are your thoughts on how we can best support sustainable and equitable development in Africa? Share your insights in the comments below. For a deeper dive into this critical topic, check out our next video exploring innovative solutions driving progress across the continent.